All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sanjay Mattu. The headlines. Prime Minister asks scientists to prepare a definite roadmap for the new decade. Home Minister Amit Shah assures that no Indian will lose their identity due to the newly enacted Citizenship Amendment Act. Chief of Defence Staff of India, General Bipin Rawat, proposes creation of Air Defence Command by 13 in full swing in Guwahati for the upcoming Khelo India Youth Games. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has asked scientists to prepare a definite roadmap for the new decade to set the direction and pace of scientific research in various fields in the country. The Prime Minister was speaking after dedicating 5 young scientists' laboratories of the Defence Research and Development Organisation, or DRDO, to the nation in Bengaluru yesterday. These laboratories will work on key advanced technologies of importance to the development of futuristic defence systems. The Prime Minister said these labs would help in shaping the pattern of research and development in the field of emerging technologies in the country. Earlier in the day, speaking at Tumakuru, the Prime Minister lashed out at the protests against the Citizenship Amendment Act. He said there should be protests against Pakistan's continuous atrocities on minorities. He said that Pakistan has always persecuted religious minorities and India is duty-bound to help these minorities. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the 107th edition of the Indian Science Congress, ISC, at the University of Agricultural Sciences in Bengaluru today. On the occasion, the Prime Minister will also launch the Indian Science, Technology and Engineering Facilities Map, or iSTEM portal, which is designed to be the gateway for researchers to locate specific types of facilities they need for their research and development work in India. Union Minister Dr. Harshvardhan, Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa and other dignitaries will also be present on the occasion. The theme of the ISC this year is Science and Technology Rural Development. The 5-day event will bring together the science fraternity from across the world to discuss scientific innovation and research. Over 15,000 participants, including Nobel laureates, scientists, intellectuals, academicians, policymakers, researchers, students, and delegates from different institutions are participating in the event. There will be 28 plenary sessions during the event on areas ranging from climate-smart agriculture for food security, crop improvement towards food and nutrition security, to artificial intelligence and medical technology. With a focus on rural development through science and technology, for the first time in the history of the Indian Science Congress, a Farmer Science Congress is being held. A report.
Lectures and discussions on more than 14 different contemporary science areas will be the highlight in the conference. The other important events of the 107th ISC are Women Science Congress, Children's Science Congress, and Science Communicators Meet. For the first time, there will be a session on Farmers Science Congress. Professor Stephen, a Nobel laureate from Germany, will speak on ultra-sharp fluorescence microscopy, and Professor Yonath, another Nobel laureate from Israel, will speak on basic science to an acute problem of modern medicine. A science exhibition called Pride of India will exhibit different technologies, machineries, equipments, science models. The major attractions of Pride of India Expo include Vigyan Jyot, Genesis, and special pavilions. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
The Ministry of Earth Sciences took several initiatives in 2019. During the year, the ministry issued various alerts and timely warnings regarding cyclonic storms, heavy rainfall, sea conditions, storm surge warnings, and pre-cyclone alerts and expected damage. A report.
A low-cost device named Gagan-enabled Mariner's Instrument for Navigation and Information Gemini was launched in October for ocean states forecast and mapping potential fishing zones. The government also launched special weather services for the benefit of people visiting Prayagraj during the Kumbh Mela. A 3-day international symposium on advances in agrometeorology for managing climate risk of farmers was organized by the ministry. It was held considering the urgent need of sharing the agrometeorological knowledge among researchers, policymakers, industry and farmers to learn from each other. India and United Kingdom signed MOU on cooperation in weather and climate sciences. Anupam Mish, AIR News, Delhi.
Home Minister Amit Shah has described the protests against the Citizenship Amendment Act, or CAA, as mostly political and asserted that no Indian will lose their nationality due to the newly enacted legislation. He also challenged Congress leaders Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi to show any clause in the CAA under which anyone would lose Indian citizenship. Participating at an event organized by a private news channel, Mr. Shah once again appealed to the countrymen, especially minorities, not to fall prey to the alleged misinformation being spread by opposition parties.
बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान और अफगानिस्तान में जो माइनॉरिटी रहती है, उसको अगर वो धर्म से प्रताड़ित होकर भारत में आते हैं, तो उसको नागरिकता देनी पड़ेगी। और ये बात मेरी नहीं है। महात्मा गांधी, जवाहरलाल नेहरू, आचार्य कृपलानी, राजेंद्र प्रसाद, मौलाना आजाद, सरदार पटेल, ये सब ने बार-बार कही है।
The Home Minister said the Census 2021 and the National Population Register NPR, which the government plans to conduct along with the house listing phase of the census from April to September 2020, have nothing to do with the National Register of Citizens. Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has said that the Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA, doesn't take away anyone's citizenship. In an interview to DD News, Mr. Prasad said the law seeks to grant Indian citizenship to Hindus, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains and Parsi refugees from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh who entered India on or before the 31st of December 2014.
Citizenship Amendment Act CA क्या है? ये न किसी भारतीय की नागरिकता लेता है न किसी को देता है। इसलिए इस नागरिकता के संशोधन के अधिनियम से किसी भी हिंदुस्तानी को जरा भी न घबराने की आवश्यकता है।
BJP Working President JP Nadda has said that some states passing resolutions against the Citizenship Amendment Act are misleading the people as citizenship falls under the centre's purview. Mr. Nadda was addressing a gathering of intellectuals at Vadodara in Gujarat last evening. He said that the Citizenship Amendment Act has been legally passed by Parliament. Mr. Nadda was in Vadodara in connection with the BJP's Jan Jagran Abhiyan to counter the misinformation being spread on CAA. He alleged that the opposition Congress never condemned the violent protests by mobs on this issue. He alleged that the aim of the Congress is not the welfare of the people, but to mislead the people.
आज इस पर हाहाकार हो रहा है। इस पर विरोध करने की राजनीति कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेतृत्व में चल रही है। बहुत से ऐसे पार्टियां हैं जिनको बड़े लंबे समय तक जो चाह रही हैं कि विरोध के स्वर लेकर के देश में एक तरीके का वातावरण अस्थिरता का बनाया जाए। ये क्या है सिटीजन अमेंडमेंट एक्ट? इसको हमको गहराई से समझने की जरूरत है।
The BJP has launched a toll-free number 8866288662 for people to give missed calls to register their endorsement of the Citizenship Amendment Act. The party will begin a 10-day campaign from Sunday, during which its leaders and workers will contact 3 crore families to rally support for the CAA. BJP President and Home Minister Amit Shah will launch the party's national campaign for creating awareness on the Citizenship Amendment Act and National Register of Citizens from Jodhpur in Rajasthan today. The Home Minister will also address a public rally in support of the Act. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. Chief of Defence Staff, CDS General Bipin Rawat, has directed various branch heads to come up with recommendations for inter-services synergy and jointness in a time-bound manner. After resuming charge as CDS, General Rawat held a meeting with important functionaries of the headquarters Integrated Defence Staff on Wednesday. He also directed that a proposal to create an Air Defence Command be prepared by the 30th of June this year. He also set out priorities for execution of synergy by the 30th of June and 31st of December this year. Some of the areas identified for jointness and synergy include creation of common logistics support pools in stations where 2 or more services have their presence. Emphasizing the collegiate system of functioning, General Rawat directed that all 3 services and the Coast Guard must be consulted and their views be obtained in a time-bound manner. The Indian Railways has integrated its helpline numbers into a single number 139 for quick grievance redressal and enquiries by passengers during their train journeys. The new helpline number 139 will take over all the existing helpline numbers. It will be easy for the passengers to remember this number and connect with the railways for all their needs during train travel. The helpline 139 will be available in 12 languages. It will be based on the interactive voice response system. In Tamil Nadu, the opposition DMK-led front has a marginal lead over the ruling AIA-DMK-led coalition as counting votes continues in the rural local body elections. The polling was held in 2 phases using ballot papers at the end of last month, and the counting began yesterday. Congress leader Ashok Chavan has said that the party has conveyed its stand about portfolio allocation to Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray. Mr. Chavan was speaking to reporters after a meeting of leaders of the Maha Aghadi Vikas Alliance, comprising Shiv Sena, NCP and Congress in Mumbai late last night. Besides Mr. Chavan, the meeting was attended by Maharashtra Congress Chief Balasaheb Thorat, NCP's Ajit Pawar and Shiv Sena's Eknath Shinde. Meanwhile, Union Minister Ramdas Athavale has hit out at the ruling coalition over non-allocation of portfolios to its cabinet ministers so far. In Uttar Pradesh, rain and hailstorm in several parts of the state brought down the mercury by several notches. People experienced temporary respite from the cold conditions yesterday afternoon due to sunshine. However, a sudden change in the weather has increased the woes of the people. Administrations have been asked to assess the damage caused due to rain and hailstorm. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
The hailstorm has caused a big loss to crops of wheat, gram and mustard, including others. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has instructed district magistrates to estimate the loss to the crop, life and property. He has asked officials to immediately provide financial assistance to the affected people. Chief Minister has warned that no laxity in this regard will be tolerated. The schools up to class 8 in many districts have been closed till 5th of this month. Meanwhile, Met Department has predicted rain and thunder showers very likely in some areas in the state today and tomorrow. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
Human Resources Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal will inaugurate the 28th edition of the annual New Delhi World Book Fair on Saturday at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi. The book fair, organized by the National Book Trust, will be held from January 4 to 12 in the national capital. Eminent Gandhian scholar Girishwar Mishra will be the chief guest on the occasion. In Iraq, at least 8 people were killed in a rocket attack on the Baghdad International Airport. According to Iraqi TV and officials, the head of Iran's elite Quds force, General Qasem Soleimani, and the deputy commander of Iran-backed militias known as the Popular Mobilization Forces, Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, were also killed in the airstrike. The PMF blamed the United States for the attack. On to sports now. Assam is fully geared up for the 3rd edition of Khelo India Youth Games to be held in Guwahati between the 10th and 22nd of this month. This was stated by the Director General of Sports Authority of Assam, Onkar Kedia, and Social Welfare Department Secretary Hemen Das while participating in a talk show on All India Radio in Guwahati last evening. And now for a look at today's newspapers for the major stories, it's over to Paul Thotton.
Thank you, Sanjay. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's comments on the anti-CAA protests dominate front page's headlines. Modi says CAA opponents to protest against Pak atrocities, reports The Hindu. On the infant deaths that took place in a Kota hospital in Rajasthan, the Pioneer notes Centre rushes probe team, Sonia summons Rajasthan Congress in charge, Gehlot sends report to party chief. The Times of India highlights the Tata Sons petition in the Supreme Court against the NCLAT order reinstating Cyrus Mistry as executive chairman. The paper writes reinstating Mistry will cripple corporate democracy, Tata's in essay. With a front page photograph of firefighters trying to douse a factory fire in Delhi, the Hindustan Times reports newlywed fireman dies in another factory blaze. On the death of senior NCP leader DP Tripathi, the Indian Express says JNU's anti-emergency phase to man of all seasons, DP Tripathi dies at 67. And finally, the Times of India cites a recommendation of a paramilitary forces panel to report paramilitary service animals could retire with benefits like soldiers do. With that, it's back to you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Paul. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister asks scientists to prepare a definite roadmap for the new decade. Home Minister Amit Shah assures that no Indian will lose their identity due to the newly enacted Citizenship Amendment Act. Chief of Defence Staff of India, General Bipin Rawat, proposes creation of Air Defence Command by 30th June. Indian Railways launches integrated helpline number 139 for grievance redressal and enquiries by passengers. And preparations on in full swing in Guwahati for the upcoming Khelo India Youth Games. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.